In the secluded town of Willow Creek, nestled at the edge of a foreboding forest, whispered tales of a mysterious phenomenon shrouded the community in fear and apprehension. It all began when residents started receiving cryptic messages, ominous missives that seemed to predict tragic events in their lives. No one knew who was behind these messages or why they were being plagued by such terrifying predictions. Amelia Monroe, a young artist known for her vibrant paintings capturing the essence of nature, was the first to receive one of these disturbing messages. It arrived in the dead of night, written in elegant calligraphy on aged parchment that mysteriously materialized on her doorstep. The words were chilling in their simplicity. "Beware the moon's shadow, for it heralds a dark reckoning." At first, Amelia dismissed it as a prank, but soon enough, strange occurrences began to unfold around her. One evening, as she painted by candlelight, she caught sight of a shadow moving in her periphery, a shadow that seemed to have a life of its own, twisting and writhing in the darkness. A sense of unease settled in her bones, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched by unseen eyes. When the next message arrived, it was even more foreboding. "The whispers of the past will haunt you. Beware the mirror's reflection." Amelia's heart raced as she remembered an old mirror that had belonged to her late grandmother, a mirror said to hold secrets of the past. She made her way to the attic where the mirror lay forgotten, covered in a thick layer of dust. As she gazed into its tarnished surface, her reflection seemed to waver, distorting into a grotesque visage that bore no resemblance to her own. Terrified and desperate for answers, Amelia sought out the help of Dr. Elias Blackwood, a reclusive scholar rumored to possess knowledge of the occult. Dr. Blackwood's academia was adorned with ancient tomes and esoteric artifacts, a testament to his deep fascination with the arcane. As he listened to Amelia's tale, a grave expression settled on his pallid features. "These messages are not mere coincidences, my dear," he murmured, his voice heavy with gravity. "They are portents of a malevolent force at work, a force that seeks to unravel the fabric of reality itself." Together, they delved into the town's dark history, uncovering long-forgotten secrets and tales of tragedy that seemed to parallel the events foretold in the messages. They learned of a sinister entity known as the Shadow Weaver, a being rumored to manipulate reality itself through the power of words and symbols. As they pieced together the fragments of this terrifying puzzle, Amelia and Dr. Blackwood realized that the Shadow Weaver's influence extended far beyond Willow Creek. Its malevolent whispers had reached other unsuspecting souls, each marked for a fate more horrifying than the last. With each new message, the lines between reality and nightmare blurred, and Amelia found herself tormented by visions of a shadowy figure that seemed to linger on the edge of her vision, always just out of reach. It whispered dreadful prophecies in a voice that chilled her to the core, promising unspeakable horrors that awaited her in the dark depths of the forest. Determined to confront this malevolent entity and put an end to its reign of terror, Amelia and Dr. Blackwood ventured into the heart of the forest, where the shadows grew thick and suffocating. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and a palpable sense of dread hung over them like a shroud. As they delved deeper into the forest's depths, a sense of foreboding crept over them, and they knew that they were drawing closer to the lair of the Shadow Weaver. The trees seemed to twist and contort, their branches reaching out like gnarled claws, and the shadows danced with an unnatural life of their own. At last, they reached a clearing bathed in moonlight, where a figure awaited them, a figure cloaked in darkness, its features obscured by a veil of shadows. The air grew cold, and the world seemed to hold its breath as the Shadow Weaver emerged from the depths of the forest, its eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. "You have trespassed upon my domain, mortals," it hissed, its voice a chilling whisper that sent a shiver down Amelia's spine. "I am the Weaver of Shadows, the Harbinger of Nightmares. You cannot escape the fate that awaits you." But Amelia stood her ground, her eyes blazing with defiance. "We will not be cowed by your threats, foul creature," she declared, her voice steady despite the fear that threatened to consume her. "We have seen through your lies and deceptions. You hold no power over us." With a sudden surge of courage, she raised a hand and spoke a word of power, a word that resonated with ancient magic. In that moment, the shadows recoiled, as if struck by an invisible force, and the air crackled with a palpable tension. The Shadow Weaver let out a roar of fury, its form contorting and writhing as it struggled against the magic that bound it. But it was too late. With a blinding flash of light, the entity was banished back into the darkness from whence it came, its malevolent presence dissipating like smoke in the wind. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, bathing the forest in a golden glow, a sense of peace settled over Willow Creek once more. The cryptic messages ceased, and the townsfolk breathed a collective sigh of relief, grateful for their newfound freedom from the shadowy specter that had haunted them. Amelia and Dr. Blackwood stood on the edge of the forest, their eyes meeting in silent understanding. Though the threat had been vanquished, they knew that the memory of their harrowing ordeal would linger like a ghost in the back of their minds, a reminder of the fragility of reality and the darkness that dwelt within the human soul. And as they turned to walk back to the safety of their homes, the whispers of the past seemed to fade into the distance, carried away on the wind like a haunting melody that echoed through the ages. The mystery of the cryptic messages had been unraveled, but the shadows of Willow Creek held many more secrets waiting to be discovered.